Hi, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Mr. Fletcher's Neighborhood. I am your host, Mr. Fletcher. And yes, I know I've been away for a little while, but I am back with a new set of episodes. In this episode, I have a book that I picked up. It's written by Kate Hoffler, illustrated by Corinna Lukin. And the name of the book is called Nothing in Common. So, here you are. You can get a good look at it. So, this book basically tells the story of a young boy and a young girl who apparently had nothing in common throughout the whole entire story until they actually did. It's very funny. You'll find out the things they do have in common, despite everything that they don't have in common, in pursuit of one particular individual. And I don't want to give too much of the story away, so without any further ado, here is the story behind Nothing in Common. They had nothing in common, so they never waved. Except every day, they loved watching the old man with his dog. The dog could do marvelous things, and did. Things they felt under the floors of their hearts. But other than that, they had nothing in common. Still, they were the only ones who noticed when one day was different. Now, neither had ever seen an old man cry, or heard a name called so sadly that it flies through your window and lands on your chest. It happened just to them. When morning came, they both went out with binoculars and a helmet for thinking. Because a marvelous dog could be anywhere, doing anything. And a marvelous friend is hard to find. They both knew that. They looked on the same quiet rooftops and under the same whale and near the same planets. And they thought of the same old man crying, but other than that, they had nothing in common. That day, when a hot air balloon floated over the city, they were the only ones who thought a dog might be flying it. A marvelous dog who was lost and looking for his friend far and wide. It could happen, and only they knew that. It was a big way for a dog to look for someone, and a big thing for just the two of them to notice. But dogs aren't birds. They can't see their way home from the sky, especially a dog without binoculars. And notice this is a binocular view. And a balloon is a great moon with ropes. You need another person with a helmet. Someone who knows exactly where a balloon dog wants to go. Someone marvelous like that. That's right. And there they are together. It was a slow walk, one with time to notice things. Things they hadn't noticed before. Tall things. How patient a dog in the sky is. How they both had the same feeling inside. A deep feeling that ballooned out. They pulled and pulled, and they knew the same way back, because they knew the same stars, and the same earth, and the same quiet rooftops they saw every night from their windows. And because they had noticed the same old man every day, just the two of them, there was an old man who cried this time because he was happy. And it's because the dog could do marvelous things, and did. Each thought the other was marvelous too, even though they had nothing in common. Isn't that something? Nothing. And that's something. The nothing in common is something. So, boys and girls, that story explains how all of us do have something in common, regardless of how many things we don't have in common. And one example of that are kids that you might be in class with, kids you see at the playground, kids that you play with wherever, even kids that don't live on the same street or the same neighborhood as you, that may have the same name as you. That's something in common right there. Okay, and there's many more examples I can go into, but the purpose of this story, the point of this story, is that we're all connected. There's at least one or two things that unite all 7 billion of us here on planet Earth. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, take care.